to me with scars on your wrist. You tell me this will be the...
Before the video begins, I just want to say, yes, this may contain spoilers. Just a heads up when watching this video. "2017 was a very interesting year for TWE, as it was the return of TWE. To start off TWE, of course, we made the Royal Rumble 3, which had new wrestlers, original wrestlers, and old wrestlers. One of those being Abraham, but the other one was very interesting. This person was known as the Masked Warrior. Now, although he's nothing really special since he was a new wrestler just like Abraham, he actually was, as surprisingly, he was a very good wrestler. We were going to go over who he was and why he was such a top tier wrestler during this time. Surprisingly, there is little to no info on the Masked Warrior actually, most likely because there was no commentary matches of him in 2017. All we know is his so-called Russian accent. So, because of that, despite DT dub stuff, we really don't know where the Masked Warrior comes from. So on to the next. Now, not exactly why was the Masked Warrior so strong, but a more better way to put it is why he was such a top tier. Well, just by looking at his body physique and how fast he was actually, he was a pretty good wrestler, and that's actually probably why all the other wrestlers couldn't really compete with him, which made him this top tier during the year. That is up until Nick beat him at the TWE XTWEZ finale. Despite the XTWE's finale as his only loss, we will not really be talking a lot about his DC dub career, as it's still the same storyline, it's just like a different type of trampoline wrestling company in this matter. Because, well, the Masked Warrior kind of lost a lot in DT dub. So that's where that ends. But despite him just breezing through some wrestlers, his most noticeable achievement, and XTWEZ, would of course be beating Scream for the Intercontinental Championship. And of course, in his DT dub run, his most noticeable achievement is when he defeated Ghost, also known as his arch nemesis, for the United States Championship at Days of Destruction 2. So the Masked Warrior did pretty good as a wrestler. From XTWC to DT dub, he was a 2-time champion, and, of course, he was a pretty long wrestler to not have been defeated for a long time, like Nick. Now, because there wasn't really much to talk about with the Masked Warrior, now we get into his real storyline about the Masked Warrior. To be honest, the Masked Warrior really was a hard character to actually make and manipulate and everything of that sort. The reason why? I actually don't know. Most likely because he was a top tier. But the Masked Warrior actually is Rajichi. Or, for that matter, was supposed to be Rajichi. Reason why is because Rajichi originally was supposed to have a match at TWE Mania 2. I'm not going to speak about the match or what was going to happen, but because of that match, it would have changed a lot of things within the storyline for the following year with the Masked Warrior, where the Masked Warrior the following year would be revealed that he is Rajichi. However, things didn't go as planned, and then that's what created the match at the finale for XTWEZ, the Masked Warrior versus Nick, where Nick defeated him. However, then for DT dub, the plans were actually supposed to repeat again with the same matches. However, the matches did not go as planned. So because that happened, Rajichi just disappeared, and the Masked Warrior just remained the same. So because of that, Masked Warrior and Rajichi, thankfully God, stayed two different characters and not the same. Otherwise, that would be pretty hard to manipulate both of them as one. Another thing that's also interesting, Rajichi and the Masked Warrior somewhat share a similar area, as Rajichi is from Fairbanks, Alaska, and because the Masked Warrior had an unknown place, his place originally was supposed to be, well, you guessed it, Russia. So that's something great to know about both of them. So despite that, and to wrap it up, everyone, that is who the Masked Warrior is and who was supposed to be the Masked Warrior. A very interesting and fun character, I'd say, featured within TWE and UtT dub. We will never know what will happen with the Masked Warrior, but his story, original storyline and everything like that will live on forever. So, we talked about who exactly the Masked Warrior is. So the first thing, obviously, was nobody knew really much about his identity, other than him being a very good wrestler along with his accent. But it has been revealed that his original place was supposed to be Russia. And another thing to add in was his character bouncing around from Rajichi to not Rajichi to Rajichi to not Rajichi to just them being their own characters, which would make it easier. The Masked Warrior is a very interesting character to be in TWE, and I'm actually pretty happy that he was created, as he makes the storyline very interesting. Unlike people like Killer Clown and Scream, the Masked Warrior was pretty hard to reveal who he was. Other than that, the Masked Warrior made TWE and saved UtT dub. With that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in another one. This has been Rajichi Lasik, signing out. Bye.